I'm on the Upper Pole Couloir trail, which doesn't become a trail. I think it ends right over here. But if you take the trail, it'd be helpful to have a GPX file, because here's the trail, heavily overgrown. Ascending there, something like 1.77 miles, and I think it's around 3,000 feet of gain. I'm just after where I was, so this is for reference. There's the couloir. The trail exit's right here, right up here. If you take that, it descends rapidly, and you're gonna have to make your way left through that brush. A little bit warm, probably 80 degrees. So I'm at a point of decision about how to ascend. This cliff's out, I know that. So my brother-in-law has been up a couple times. He's gone up here and taken a right to the south spur. I saw a track of a guy who named this, and I think he came up here. He said about 9,200 feet, where the trees grow down into the couloir. That's where you ascend. I almost looked at down here, that rock outcropping. There's some trees that grow out, and I think you could climb that. It looks a little steeper than this. I'm inclined to take the north spur. But I've got my brother-in-law's GPX track. This way to the south, you find a shelf. He said the only trick is there's a gap. You gotta find your way up. Maybe I'll come down that way, we'll see. But if somebody wants to go I know a lot of people get lost, and that's why I bought the Gaia app. I downloaded it for this hike specifically. Okay, I was just down here, at the bottom of the couloir there. I kind of worked myself up this way, but unless you want to climb right over here, it'd be challenging. So I came across and up to here. It is loose, hands and knees sometimes. Very loose, not technical, but loose. To give you an idea of the grade, that's holding it more or less level. So the other route that my brother-in-law and I think a lot of people take, I'm not really seeing the shelf unless it's this. Up to here and then up. That certainly looks doable, but I've read a number of reports where people really struggled, got lost. Some people said they're surprised they weren't seriously injured or dead. Some people took hours and hours and hours. So I have a lot of water. It'd be a lot easier. I've got about 20 pounds. I wish I had about half that, but with the water, food, and radio gear, I'm around 20 pounds. So, next step, you make my way up here. This is the spur. I'm at 9,900 feet elevation. There's the couloir down there. Came up this spur. So the other trail, or it's not trail, the other route goes up to that saddle up there. It's an obvious route through there. I think the trick is just getting out. I think it's right down there is where you need to leave. But it's obvious. I'm not sure if I'll go up that rock slide area. The rock here is really loose, so I may hang to the right of that rock outcropping. We've attained the ridge. Should be relatively easy going from here on out. It was steep. We're at 10,006 and change. 3,000 feet of gain. So I just reached the ridge right here. Breaking those speed records here. have a comprehensive video. All right, I'm going to set up my antenna for the river. Those trees, it's just too windy. No fun. I normally don't look at the summit register, but my brother-in-law and his son-in-law hiked up here. They're getting ready for Whitney and left me a message. This was kind of cool. I actually watched her video. They took the ridge from, I'm thinking most people take Dry Fork up instead of the couloir, but in any event, he also left me this, but I'm going to leave it for somebody else because I've got snacks. I'm taking the south spur down. The saddle is up in that area. I kind of wound this way. I don't think you want to go over here. See that rock in the draw? I don't think you want to be down in that. I think that will cliff out. So I came down here and his track is showing north towards the couloir. Down this direction. I think the crux is coming up down here. 9,615 feet, just came down that. And I think maybe you have to go through that gap right there because it looks like it cliffs out and I don't know that you can get around it very easily. I think I need to head over this way. Okay, so it's easy to get turned around in here. I think I came up here. I think to the right side of that rock ledge there. There's a big drop off over here. Pretty steep right here. I gotta tell you, I like the other way better. At least I felt like I knew what I was doing. This one, I don't know if I'm gonna be cliffed out. I'm trying to follow the GPX trap, but you know, there's questions about the precision and stacking of tolerances between his GPS unit and mine. I was just down there towards that. There's a drop off. Might be able to make it through that one, but I don't know what's after that. I'm gonna try this way. That looks doable up here. But yeah, it's questionable. I mean, if you don't know what you're doing, holy cow, you could get lost easily. I have a GPS unit and it seems to be wandering about. Okay, I was just right there. You can see there's a depression here. Probably people and animals. So I believe I'm in the couloir now. This is the correct one. And that was the exit over here. Just over 4 miles in just over 4 hours. And it was about 3,300 feet of gain. Kind of embarrassing. It's really slow, but it is loose and the grade is steep. You're doing most of that elevation gain in, I think it's 1.35 miles. As far as which one I would take, if I was taking somebody, I might take the south spur. And the reason for that is on that north spur, it seemed a little steeper. And there were a number of times where I dislodged rocks. Sometimes really big ones went tumbling behind me. I think it would have been better if I would have gone up that way. I would have known how to come down. I had to do some backtracking. I don't use GPS. This is my first time. And, well, yesterday. And using the GPS while hiking, like trying to follow a track, that is extremely, extremely difficult and kind of dangerous. I eventually put it away, and then I have to pull it out and check it again, put it away, pull it out and check it again. It's just a very slow process. Google Maps identifies the parking location as the quarry. There's a parking location a little bit further back, and I might, if I did it again, I might do that. It's not quite, you have to hike a little bit further, but it's not a difficult hike, and the road's pretty rough, especially up in that quarry area.